Hello, I'm Luke Neller and welcome to Best Replays of the Week. The festive season is upon us and we have some great games to end the year with. In this week's episode we have a Fast and Furious E50, a mouse celebrating Ragnarok, and a Top Gun going on a festive sleigh ride. Enjoy! We'll start the festivities on an American server, with a steel wall featuring the mighty mouse. Razjet brings the super heavy tank into a tier 10 encounter on Ensk. Instead of a Christmas cheer, the slogan scrawled across this tank's massive turret promises Ragnarok, the final battle, and the end of the world. The mouse rolls into town and the jingle of bells turns into the thunder of guns. Most opponents are on the other side of the map, so Razjet drives into the circle to lure them out. This doesn't look good. Nobody is coming into gun range, and the team is getting massacred. The mouse needs to go hunting. Here we go. The first opponent goes down, but the numbers look grim. Razjet struggles to engage the enemies at range, and the last ally gives up the ghost. The mouse is alone, 1 against 6. It's time for Ragnarok. Razjet knocks out a T-69, and then a T-44. The flat and low tier 10 medium is a serious threat, but Razjet manages to break its track in the melee. The opponents are dishing out heavy damage, but the object needs to go down. After it's dead, Razjet can focus on the others. Out of the frying pan and into the fire. The mouse gets sandwiched between the Type and a T-34. However, angling the turret parries most of the shots. Razjet blows up the American and swings the turret back just in time. The Type 4 Heavy is built on the same scale as the mouse, but Ragnarok pushes it back. The opponent keeps aiming at the same spot, making it easy for Razjet to block the shots. One of the shells does punch through, but it's too little, too late. There's a bulldog in the circle, but the rumble of approaching tracks scares it off. Razjet enters the base, looks for a defensible position, and picks off the doggy before it has time to fire. Nice work, Steel Wall! Apparently Razjet had a day of frustrating games before this one, so carrying the day as a Steel Wall must have come as a welcome change of pace. Santa's little helper for the day is Jakifa from the EU region, driving a Skoda T50. The game is played on Fiery Salient with a Skoda on top tier. The first shots tenderize an IS-3, and the last shell in the drum strikes a TVP. Jakifa fires off the second drum and heads northeast. Hey look, it's the same IS-3. 2 more hits, then a Waffenträger picks up the kill. Merry Christmas, friend! The next drum is served to a Chinese heavy tank. After the reload, a T-34-100 volunteers to be gift wrapped, and Jakifa hands it over to a Löwe. The WZ gets claimed as well, and Jakifa starts working on winning the game. Picking off an uneyed Oni is a good start. The next present is another IS-3, going once again to the Löwe. Isn't it nice to see the big cat getting several kills for once? The next gift goes to an SU-12244, who seems eager to claim it. The opponents seem a bit grumpy about this gifting business, and a GW Tiger tries to put a stop to it. Things slow down for a while, and the next kill goes to Jakifa. Hello, big boy! The ST-1 disappears into cover, so Jakifa hits the reload and races back north. Boo! 2 more shots punch into the Soviet Heavy, and an SPG is happy to claim the present. Jakifa catches another enemy crossing the railroad. But this time the Allies have trouble finishing it off. Does anybody want it? Okay, this one's for the Confederates. The opponents are down to 2 vehicles and Jekifer is running out of shells, so the next drum will be 1 short. The arty is found and destroyed. Allies seem quite eager to claim the last present. Shells start flying in before the Confederate can do anything more than spot the target. Well, that still counts as a gift, right? Nice work, Jekifer. Looking at the numbers, it seems you didn't just donate a bunch of kills to the Allies, but carried the game as well. That's the spirit. The next game comes from the EU region. We don't know if Escape Artist is a fat man in a red suit, but they set out to slay like Father Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. Dashing through the snow is an FV215B, and we are, of course, in the Arctic region. The first clash is with an IS-7. Someone needs to work on their trigger discipline, but the opponent goes down anyway. A Waffenträger fires cautiously from a long distance. It won't help. If you're on the naughty list, you're going down. Ho, ho, ho. Look at these rascals trying to sneak into the base. Escape Artist gets ready for a proper fight, but killing the first one seems to scare the others away. The team is getting wiped out, but who cares about that? It's Top Gun time! Escape Artist keeps landing every shot and picks up a Grill 15 as the 4th kill. There goes the last ally, with 7 more people on the naughty list. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3. That evened things out a bit. 4 more to go. The Object 416 thinks it's safe behind those timbers, but it's sadly mistaken. Killing it does drag on a bit though. The Kappa has to be dealt with, even if it means giving the Jagdpanzer a free shot. Escape Artist rolls forwards, and the opponent abandons the circle. An APCR shell strikes and incredibly bounces off. The opponent chooses to stand and fight. And the next shot blows it to shrapnel. Just 2 more to go. The Scorpion G is right here. It causes some damage, and a low roll leaves the FV in a dangerous position. Luckily, the Scorpion rushes its shot, and the next shot seals its fate. Problem is, though, that Santa's little helper is down to just 2 shells. Escape Artist heads for the capture circle and waits for the TD. The Jagdpanzer doesn't come, however, choosing to drown its sorrows instead. A bit of a strange ending there, but a 10-kill Top Gun in the snow is just what this episode needed. Well played, Escape Artist, and Merry Christmas. Moving on, we have a fast and furious contribution from Arturo de la Vegas, who won the Defender Award in episode 13. The battleground is steppes, and the match is played on an EU server. The sandy terrain isn't very Christmassy, so let's think of it as a holiday time action move. De la Vegas takes point and leads the charge down the eastern edge of the map. A T-44 gets mauled right away, and a T-10 is driven into retreat. A Super Pershing takes a shot and is finished off with a ram a few moments later. De la Vegas gets back to leading the charge and goes for a Scorpion G. An ally puts in the final shell and the E-50 keeps going. A prototype showing its butt is worth stopping for a shot. The T-43 tries to run, but Arturo cuts his track with a ram and takes it out. The timing here is flawless. The E-50 backs up just enough to bounce the shot from an ISU-122S and then pushes on to dismantle the IS-6. Aww, the IS is looking the wrong way. De La Vegas wrecks it while driving past and presses onward. One shell for the IS-3, and then it's time to wreck a Carnarvon. It's the last one left, and a few moments later it joins the others. GG. Wow! In less than 5 minutes, Arturo De La Vegas damaged 12 enemies and dished out a ton of damage. I hope we'll see more games with this kind of fearless aggression. Let's wrap up this Christmas special with a Defender game from the Asian region. Deptre Hathei Saokyu has brought a Batchatalion 25-ton out into the steppes. To a northerner, this might not look like Christmas weather, but it's about right for the southern hemisphere. Deb starts with a bit of reconnaissance. A T-10 gets spotted, but there's no opportunity to fire on it just yet. The Bat drives to the edge of the map and pretends to be a bush. Patience pays off, with 4 solid hits on 3 separate targets. Sixth Sense lights up, and it's time to move on. Reload is ready, and there are numerous targets to choose from. The T-10 from earlier tries to start something, but gets beaten up for its troubles. Another reload, and things are starting to look pretty bad for the team. The Defender picks up the pace by finishing off an E75 and the T-10 before hitting reload. Depp goes back to impersonating a bush. The reload is almost done, when a rival Bat makes itself a tempting target. Boom, like a sniper. Here's another sliver of a target. Boom! This is one well-calibrated gun. The Defender heads closer as the second-to-last ally falls. A T-54E1 comes into view, looking like the next victim. The kill shot bounces off a track, however, and the last shell in the drum strikes the ground. The last ally is now gone as well, so the endgame is 1 against 4. A capture starts, and the Defender heads for the base. Wait, is there time to knock out the arty first? Of course there is. 1 shot dodged, 2, 3, and reset. The remaining shells aren't enough to kill the second one, but the capture bar goes to 0. The Defender even manages to take a shell from the T-34 with only minor track damage. There should be plenty of time for a reload, but suddenly a rival Bat pounces out of nowhere. The shot misses by inches, and the Defender opens up the distance. The duel is pretty much a draw, with each machine getting wrecked. Remember that missed opening shot though? The opponent's weapon runs dry, and they try to run. Deb still has a shell, however, so boom! It comes down to a 1-on-1. The reload will be ready before the capture finishes, but the Defender is down to a single shell. Deb goes wide, and is well out of position when the reload is done. Was this a fatal mistake? One last chance. Pull the trigger! Phew! You can't cut it any closer than that. If I believed in Christmas miracles, I'd say the server was being generous about ending the game. Well played, and what a nail-biter ending for our holiday special. That's it for our holiday episode. Have a great time, everybody, and don't eat yourselves sick. If you're not celebrating anything in particular, well, good luck with those ×5 games. I'm Luke Nella, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next year. Ho ho ho! Merry Christmas! Like, we're starting a proper fight here, mate. Dashing through the snow is an FV215B, and we are, of course.